Inside the walls, what prison is like in Warhammer. 40K, the iron doors groaned shut behind me, their weight echoing through the dark corridor like a death knell. Chains rattled with every cautious step I took, each clang a reminder of the life I'd lost and the horrors waiting ahead. Shadows stretched and writhed along the Gothic walls, revealing glimpses of torment in cells I dared not yet see. Faint screams echoed, twisted by fear and despair, as Gryph's sensors flared nervously, scanning every corner where unseen threats might lurk. The air reeked of decay, soot, and fear. I gritted my teeth, feeling the oppressive weight of this cathedral of despair pressing down. Survival here demanded more than courage. It demanded cunning, patience, and a resolve I had yet to know I possessed. Each step forward was a gamble, each breath a challenge against the darkness that seemed alive. The prison didn't merely hold bodies. It consumed minds, testing every shred of will. Yet even in this shadowed tomb, a flicker of defiance sparked within me, a whisper that perhaps, if I endured, I could survive this nightmare. A shadow fell across the hall before me, stretching long and sinister across the grimy stone floor. Warden Malther emerged, towering and cruel, his presence bending the air with a psychic power that made my teeth ache and my heart race. Every instinct screamed danger, yet the chains that bound me held firm, cruel, and unyielding. He sneered, words sharp as blades slicing the air, and with a subtle flick of his hand, agony erupted across a nearby inmate, their scream echoing like a chorus of despair. Gryph bristled, sensors flaring in frantic bursts, alert to every lurking threat. The shadows seemed to twist around us, the torchlight dancing in malignant patterns. This was no ordinary warden. This was a predator, a master of torment, and I was its newest prey, caught in a nightmare from which escape seemed impossible. Every second dragged with oppressive weight, every breath a gamble against the horror surrounding me, yet deep inside, a spark of defiance refused to die. Thrown into the fetid cell, every shadow seemed alive, writhing with unspeakable menace. The faint, twisted whispers of inmates, some human, some horribly mutated, slithered along the walls, clawing at my sanity. Gryph's sensors flared continuously, alerting me to threats I could barely see, each flicker of his lights casting monstrous shapes on the damp stone. I pressed myself against the cold, unyielding walls, muscles coiled, senses stretched taut, every nerve screaming for escape. Hope was a luxury here, and vigilance a requirement for survival. Every step I took felt like trespassing on the edge of madness, every breath a reminder that the prison consumed more than bodies. It devoured minds. The echoes of screams and unnatural laughter gnawed at me, etching despair into my soul. Yet somewhere in the shadows, a stubborn ember of defiance glimmered. Freedom was no longer a promise. It was a challenge I had to meet, one careful, measured movement at a time. Pain, unlike anything I had ever known, tore through my mind like jagged shards of fire. Memories contorted into grotesque visions, colors I could not name flashing violently before my eyes, each one a weapon aimed at my sanity. Warden Malther's psychic assault was unrelenting, probing every fear, every regret, twisting them into instruments of torment designed to crush my will. Gryph strained at the invisible bonds holding me, sensors flaring in frantic bursts, yet could not reach my side. My own thoughts became a battlefield, each fragment of clarity a hard-won victory against waves of agony. Seconds stretched into eternities as the walls of the chamber seemed to pulse with sadistic energy, a cathedral built to shatter hope. Yet somewhere in the storm of mental assault, a stubborn ember of resistance remained. Survival was not about strength. It was about holding on to that ember, refusing to let despair claim me completely. The corridor erupted into sheer chaos, walls echoing with shrieks and the unholy howls of mutants and chaos-tainted inmates lunging from every shadow. Gryph leapt with lethal precision, metallic claws raking through attackers, sensors flaring in a frenzy as each movement was a battle for survival. My muscles coiled, mind razor-sharp, yet the relentless numbers pressed in like a living wall of terror. Every step, every breath was a gamble. One misstep meant certain death. Retreat became the only option, but even as I fell back, determination blazed inside me. I refused to let this cathedral of torment claim my soul. The prison hurled its horrors at us with merciless fury, yet we endured, battered and bloodied, each heartbeat a testament that we were not yet defeated, that survival was still within reach if we dared to seize it. In the suffocating darkness, a sudden presence revealed itself. An inmate, eyes wary but purposeful, stepping from the shadows to offer a hidden path through the prison. My heart leapt, cautious hope mingling with fear. Together, we moved like shadows, silent and careful, Gryph's sensors flaring at every corner, detecting threats invisible to the naked eye. Every step was deliberate, every sound a potential death sentence, as if the walls themselves were listening. The faint hum of Warden Malther's psychic wards reminded me that failure was instant and merciless. Yet, for the first time, a sliver of possibility pierced the darkness. Survival was no longer a fleeting dream. It had become a tangible plan, a fragile lifeline we had to seize with every ounce of resolve. Each movement was a gamble, but with allies at my side and Gryph's unwavering vigilance, hope dared to whisper that we might endure the nightmare. The inner sanctum trembled violently under the crushing weight of psychic energy, shadows twisting and writhing as Warden Malther loomed over me like a living nightmare. Every instinct screamed fight or die, adrenaline surging through my veins. Gryph lunged with deadly precision, metallic claws cutting through the chaos, sensors flaring wildly. I met Warden Malther's cold, merciless gaze, feeling his raw psychic power attempting to shatter my mind. Yet a hard kernel of resolve took root inside me. Sparks flew and debris rained down, every strike a desperate gamble against annihilation. Each movement was life or death, each breath a rebellion against the crushing darkness. Survival alone was no longer enough. I had to fight, to seize the first step toward vengeance, freedom, and a chance to reclaim my soul from the nightmare that had claimed this prison. The sanctum quaked violently under the full, unrelenting force of Warden Malther's psychic assault. Pain lanced through every fiber of my body, and Gryph staggered beside me, sensors flaring defiantly, determined not to falter. Desperation clawed relentlessly at my mind. Yet surrender was a thought I could not entertain. Each strike I delivered, each step I took, was a battle against inevitable death, the very air vibrating with energy as reality itself seemed to bend under the weight of his power. Sparks flew, debris scattered, and the shadows writhed as if alive. Yet even at the precipice of annihilation, a stubborn spark of defiance burned within me. With every ounce of will, we refused to fall. Today, the darkness would not claim us, and I clung to the hope that survival and defiance were still within reach, even in this cathedral of torment. The Warden Malther finally crumbled, his psychic wards shattering into dust and echoing through the collapsing sanctum. Seizing the fleeting moment, I surged forward, muscles burning, lungs screaming, heart hammering with the urgency of survival. Gryph bounded faithfully beside me, metal claws scraping against the fractured floor, sensors scanning every flickering shadow for hidden threats. The prison itself groaned, walls splitting and debris raining down, yet we pressed onward with unyielding determination, navigating the chaos with every ounce of strength left in our battered bodies. Each step was a deliberate defiance against the darkness, a proclamation that we would not be consumed. Bloodied, battered, and weary, we moved through the ruins, every heartbeat a testament to resilience. Freedom, long a distant memory, now shimmered tantalizingly close, and with it, the hope that the nightmare could finally be left behind. Beyond the shattered walls, an eerie silence claimed the ruins where chaos had once reigned unchecked. I stood among the wreckage, chest heaving, muscles aching, and mind replaying every torment endured within those suffocating corridors. Gryph remained alert beside me, loyal and unwavering, its sensors scanning the horizon for lingering threats. The horrors of the prison would leave scars on my mind forever, yet amidst the devastation, a fragile flicker of hope sparked quietly. Survival had exacted a steep toll, but in this fleeting moment, freedom and endurance felt almost tangible. The galaxy remained dark, cold, and merciless, yet for the first time in countless cycles, I glimpsed a reason to continue, to survive, to fight, and to carry the memory of defiance beyond these walls.